With us now on the Beaufort News is Marcus Walsh. He's part of the WHHI sports broadcast team to talk about the big game several weeks ago, Beaufort High against South Point in the state championship. Marcus,
yes,
how did it go?
Well, it didn't go quite as it was to be planned for Beaufort. They had a tremendous season, but Robyn, they just ran into a buzzsaw of a football team. Devontae Holloman, the head coach of South Point, formerly of Beaufort High, was the head coach at Beaufort in between the eras of Mark Clifford and Bryce Lybrand. He actually brought Bryce Lybrand on as an assistant coach, and both coaches have done tremendous things wherever they've been, obviously, and we've talked about that at length during the course of our broadcasts here on WHHI-TV. The final score was 41-7. South Point just came out and did tremendous stuff on offense. Great game by their quarterback, Zay McCrory. 344 yards passing, couple of touchdowns on the ground, had about 65 yards rushing as well. The rushing attack was tremendous. Multiple guys got involved. 4 touchdowns were scored by the South Point Stallions, at least through the air or the ground game. So their offense was just incredible and really got through a very tough front seven defense of Beaufort. And for the Beaufort offense, whenever they had a chance to get something going offensively, their drive stalled, whether it was a turnover or mistakes, that type of thing. Just a tremendous season all around for both teams. Just sometimes the competition has a little bit too much, and that was the case for South Point in this big win over Beaufort.
Marcus, didn't you tell me that Bluffton also played South Point several years ago? Was that also in the state championship?
Yes, it was, Robyn, back in 2011. And I'm not exactly sure of the details as far as the score goes of that game, but South Point also won that championship. And of course, that was before Devontae Holloman was their head coach, but they've had a tremendous program there in the Rock Hill area for many years. I just want to give a shout out certainly to Devontae Holloman of this area before becoming the head coach at South Point, and certainly Bryce Lybrand, Link Lyles, the entire Beaufort staff and their players. Just what a tremendous season they had. Daniel and I saw 3 games, covered 2 of them live here on WHHI Sports. Just a tremendous team top to bottom. They had a great season. The most complete team that we saw this year in high school football here on WHHI, and no doubt both teams should be very proud of the accomplishments that they've achieved this season. Tremendous season of high school football here in the Lowcountry and beyond in the state of South Carolina.
Now, Marcus, wasn't there one of our local football players from Hilton Head High School named Mr. Football also?
Yes, indeed. Jalen Sneed, the linebacker from Hilton Head High School and Notre Dame commit. We've talked about Jalen a lot, covered some of his games with the Hilton Head Seahawks, coached by B.J. Payne. A few weeks ago, you'll recall, we had Sarah Beachkovsky-Moore on to talk about the event and talk about Jalen and B.J. and the relationship that those two have. And what a job Jalen has done throughout his entire career, being not only Mr. Football, but Mr. Flexibility in the fact that he is physically very flexible and that he's been able to play so many different positions: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, defensive line on occasion, and then certainly linebacker. And he is slated to be a linebacker on the outside or even a strong safety for Notre Dame under new head coach Marcus Freeman. And that's important to note that Jalen decided to stay at Notre Dame despite Brian Kelly leaving for LSU.
Right.
Marcus Freeman going to do great things at Notre Dame. Certainly looking forward to that big game that they have with Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl coming up on New Year's Day. And it's going to be a great finish to the season for Notre Dame, and I expect great things for Jalen Sneed and the Fighting Irish. But what a career he's had.
What a career.
Very important to note, too, that he's just a super guy. Was willing to do anything for the team. He was great with us, talking before and after games, and just a great athlete and a great young
Yep,
man. I'm really
very
looking
good.
forward to seeing what he has to
Thank you,
achieve
Marcus.
down the line.
Yep,
You
thank
bet,
you, Marcus.
Robyn.
And we'll be seeing you on coverage of basketball
That's
on
right.
WHHI-TV. Marcus Walsh with our sports team on WHHI. A big thank you to all of our guests, our team behind the scenes, WHHI General Manager Jessa Jeremiah, Communications Manager Latia Nelson, and Production Manager Jeremy Pope. And most especially to all of you, our viewers, for watching. That's the way it is this week in our Lowcountry Gem of the South. I'm Robyn Zimmerman. Thank you for joining us on the Beaufort News.